fine, because I'll be doing the talking for you anyway.
What
And as
about
long as
Sable
everyone
now?
else can...
I just thought I'd let you know.
That's all right. You're on my phone.
Right, we are live.
We're live right now.
We are live.
That was quick. Welcome everyone. We are, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Welcome everyone to the newest episode of BritWresChat. I'm Philip, and I'm joined with Paul.
Hello everyone.
Shaman.
Hiya.
And Shaman's special guest, Dan Edler.
Good evening, afternoon, and morning, depending on where you're from.
Now, what we're going to do first, since we've got Dan just on the phone, we'll put you over to Shaman and let's have a bit of chat about the upcoming show this weekend.
Yay! Yeah, so this Saturday in Swanley, back at the White Oak Leisure Centre, it is IPW's British National Championship quarter-finals. But first, Dan, I'd just like to talk to you about your year. It's been a really good year this year, I think, as far as bigger audiences and new venues go. How's it been for you?
Yeah, it has. I'll admit that obviously, I enjoyed IPW the most when we were back at the Opposite Halls and in Bromley and stuff, up until this year, when obviously we debuted in Tunbridge. That was a fantastic venue. And a lot of people said that's quite like the Opposite Halls, and I must agree, both in terms of like the locker room and obviously the shows themselves. And we debuted in Snodden, which is a fantastically different little venue. Very, very local. A lot of locals at that show. So you get a very different appeal to the cards. And then we do a little bit here and there in Swanley, and we're going to continue to run all of our academy shows there because that's where our training school is based. But on the most part, sort of a fresh beginning kind of thing with the shows in Tunbridge and then in Scotland. So it's been pretty good so far. Fingers crossed, touch wood.
It should continue. I've really enjoyed the Tunbridge Angel Centre because I remember going there for Hammerlock shows, and I really, really like the venue, so I'm finding it really enjoyable there. And you're doing 2 shows at the Angel Centre now, aren't you? You do like an afternoon show and an evening show.
Yeah, the Angel Centre is lovely. I mean, I know that Hammerlock did at the very least one fantastic show that I was told. They had a show that I had either Fergal or Zach or something like that on one of those sort of matches on the card. And it was really good. I think they did like a show, either it was Andre Baker Memorial Show or a show straight after that there as well. But then, for whatever reason, the people that were running Hammerlock at the time maybe had other stuff that was more of a higher priority in their lives, and the show's kind of dropped off a little bit, which is a shame because Benny Garnell said that back in the day with Hammerlock, he wrestled on the same card as Jim Yandel Neidhart there, so it's obviously had its fair share of really kind of famous and decent wrestlers, both British and international. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do now, is we kind of fill our cards with really, really good, solid British matches. Don't go overboard on the international main. One or two, maybe 2 or 3, whenever we can. And kind of, just keep the cards solid. And keep it international pro wrestling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Obviously what the name is, so it would make more sense. And then with your training school this year, we've had a couple of debuts for IPW, most notably Sammy Smooth. Could you tell us a little bit about him? Yeah,
Sam's a guy that came from our training school. I think he started in about November last year, which shows you how quickly he managed to make it on the cards. He's one of the newer class, because what we did was we kind of rebranded the training last October, November. Now, we've been going since, I found a post for our first ever session the other day, which was with Martin back in 2006. 2005, sorry. So we've been going for a while now, training guys like, obviously, James Davis came from our school, Darryl Allen, Jonathan Windsor, Paul Riker, people like this, like Kira Lilly, people that we've been using our shows for a fair while now. They're all from our school. So now we had a brand new class, effectively. It started in November last year, November last year. And we got the likes of Danny Duncan, Kieran Donnelly, Scott Starr, Sammy Smooth, people like this are all coming through now in this new class. And Sam's obviously one of the higher prospects. He had his debut match on one of the academy shows. This is his first time on a main show in a singles match against Jimmy Havoc this Saturday, which could be a bit of a massacre, but also a really good. Goes pretty nicely. So yeah, good for. I think it's good. A nice advert for the training school to see guys like Sammy and Scott Starr and Danny Duggan and Kieran Donnelly and all them on the main card. And also, it's just nice for me personally to see these guys coming through A, so quickly, and B, we don't, up until this weekend, we won't have a full-time ring at our training school. We do now, but up until then we haven't had. So it's not even like these guys have had in-ring experience. So it's nice to see them getting the in-ring experience actually on cards and actually on shows. So yeah, that should be good for them on Saturday.
And you've had quite a few guest trainers as well over the past few months, and notably on Sunday you had Tony Scarlett. How was that?
Tony's fantastic. It's actually only the second time he's done a session for us, which is like mental given how kind of local like Tony is to our venue and how well I know Tony. So he came in, and originally it was supposed to be Martin Stone was going to do a session this Sunday, but his flight didn't come through in time to make it back for that weekend. So I was thinking around on Sunday, I thought I wanted it to still be a really special session, because obviously a Martin Stone session is a really great session for all the trainees. So I thought I wanted it to still be a really special session and not just kind of your run of the mill. So I got in touch with Tony and said, look, are you around? I know he had an injury back in the last year, and he had a tumble as well at home, so he was a bit banged up. So I just checking he was back to full health, which luckily he is. And for a guy of his age, he's in fantastic shape. It's unbelievable. He was talking to all the trainees about like his routine at the gym. And he puts every single other trainee to shame, like Tony does. So he's in fantastic shape. And he's one where if you listen to some of his stories, he was telling some of the guys in the session about like, Dynamite Kid and things like that. A lot of stuff you don't know about Tony Scarlett, and he knows a lot about wrestling. And what was nice is he's kind of going through and taking a lot of the basics, taking the guys through a lot of the basics, just kind of correcting a few of their kind of basic stuff that maybe don't repeat enough and don't like drill in and kind of keep good, if that makes sense. So, and then Tony obviously taught them quite a lot of like old technical British wrestling style manoeuvres and good holds and stuff like that. So they were really, really pleased. But I think at the start, maybe some of them were quite sceptical. Because maybe of his age or whatnot, or not knowing who Tony is, but by the end of it, they definitely all knew exactly who Tony Scarlett was.
I bet they did. So are there any spaces left on your training school, and if so, where would they be able to get in contact with you to sign up?
Yes, indeed. We take new applicants every Sunday. We're every Sunday from 2 until 6 p.m. in Swanley, which is in Kent. It's about a 20-minute train ride outside of London, give or take, depending on how well the trains are running. We take new applicants every single Sunday. We are at the point now where we might have to start running 2 classes because the classes are getting so big. I don't want people I know other schools, they might fill out the classes. And this is no knock on anyone, by the way, just to clarify. You might fill out the classes with more numbers. I'd personally prefer to keep them a little bit smaller. It's not quite as good as the bottom line in terms of money making, but it's about making sure that everyone gets what they pay for. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if someone's enjoying themselves, come back more often, and it works as a business, it works as a learning experience, and it puts less pressure on the trainer as well. Because if you're trying to train 25 plus people, then it makes it a lot harder to kind of give everyone the attention and the care. Whereas if we keep classes in between 15 and 20 people and maybe run 2 of them, then I think that's probably the way forward. So basically, what I'm saying is, at the moment we run from 2 till 6 p.m, but we may change. So keep an eye on ipwuktraining.com and give us a little like on Facebook. I think we're nearly at 500 likes now. That'd be cool.
No plugs or anything there. So going back to this weekend show, so the quarterfinals of the BNC, we've already talked about Sammy Smooth, who'll be taking on the incredibly mean Jimmy Havoc, who had an amazing match against Drake Younger at the last show, which made me wince on quite a number of occasions.
Yes, so we've got that match, and then we've got the tag team title match between the London Riots, who are the current reigning and defending champions, going into their third defense against RJ Singh and Six, well, collectively known as Southern Alliance. And the Southern Alliance, were born from British for about 9 years, before. They brought them back last month. They definitely haven't tagged the trio in well over 9 years. And then obviously Sticks and RJ tagging for the first time in a donkey's year this weekend. So that'd be cool. It's quite nice for both of them. I think they'd be excited to try out some double team maneuvers and just generally spend time together. So that's cool for them. And it should be a really decent match. And then we've got that. We've got an in-ring confrontation between Will Ospreay and Paul Robinson, who obviously in other promotions tag team partners. And in IPW, Paul's the champion, or world champion at the moment, and Will Ospreay just won the Battle Royal, which means that he can have any match, any time of his choosing. Now, logic would dictate, obviously, with
He appears to have disappeared.
Yeah, very quiet all of a sudden.
Yes, he has disappeared. I shall retry. Bless him. That's live television, live TV. I was going to say TV. It's like Eurovision. That's live podcasting for you. Bless his cottons. Let's try that again.
Just have to give impression it's going to be one of those days today.
It is. I have a feeling it is going to be. Yeah, but I don't mind. It could be worse. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. But yeah. So Will Ospreay, it looks like he's decided to choose Paul Robinson's title. Continue, Mr. Edler.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
My reception. Yeah, so we have the 3 quarterfinal matches. Hopefully you got all that. So
Yep.
those 3 on Sunday. All in the title match, obviously, is the feature of the 3. And then Shah Samuels' first IPW appearance in 5.5 to 6 months.
Yep.
He lost the IPW title. So those are the kind of key features about Saturday's show.
I know we missed the
available.
BNC matches. Sorry, so you'll have to go through them again.
Yes,
so
no worries.
go with Shah. Start with Shah, our favourite.
So we've got Shah Samuels up against Dangerous Danny Garnell. That's one of the quarterfinal matches. We've got Dazzling Dale Allen taking on Mark Haskins. That's another one. And we've got all in the title match between Johnny Storm and Special Edition Joseph Connors. Those are the 3 matches for which the show is named after.
Yes, it's been I've really enjoyed the BNC Championship. Most notably, my favourite match I think is Martin Kirby versus Darryl Allen. I think, which is on an afternoon show. So
yeah, that was very good. I think I need to upload that because not enough people saw that. So I might try and get that as an online free match, perhaps sometime leading up to this weekend. That was really good. Another match that was really good was James Mason against Johnny Kidd.
I love that match.
That was fantastic, and obviously that's the reason why we don't have a 4th quarterfinal match, is because that match went to a draw. So therefore, when Rampage Brown defeated Chris Travis, he obviously went through to the quarterfinals and had a bye because he would have faced the winner of Mason and Kidd, but that match went to a draw. So Rampage Brown is straight into the semi-finals, and then obviously next needs to find out who he's going to face. He will face the winner of Shah Samuels and Danny Garnell. That'll go on the future cards, and then obviously the winners of the other quarterfinals will face one another as well.
Awesome. What do you reckon, boys?
Sounds like an excellent show, top to bottom again. But I agree with Carmen 100%. Like, I've never been able to get to an IPW show as yet, but the results and the way Sharman raised about it sounds like everything's going really well this year. So fingers crossed, I'll be able to get down there at some point. I had no idea though you were at Future Shock, Dan.
Yes, I was on Future Shock. Yep.
I had no idea you were there because I saw your post on Facebook. Like, oh yeah, it's been a Future Shock Underground. I thought I would have gone over and said hello if I knew you were there, but it's not that often to see this in the country.
And I brought a friend up with me, and she hadn't seen anything up north before, so I was kind of sitting there explaining who everyone was during this, and I was just kind of sat by the bar, which is my usual position at shows where I'm not running it, and where the shows that I am running it as well. But yeah, so I kind of sat by the bar for the entire evening, and just kind of watched. It was quite nice to see a load of new guys up there for Future Shock that I hadn't seen before. I was really impressed with Cyanide and Chris, whose surname,
Chris Egan.
But I was really impressed with those guys. Chris Egan, thank you. Yeah, my memory's never been very good. Yeah, I was really impressed with those guys, and T-Bone looks in great shape now as well. Obviously the models are really good, so yeah, there's a lot of really good talent up north. And it turns out it doesn't take that long to get there either. It's like 3.5 hours to get there from down in Kent, so it's not even like you're a million miles away, so I definitely could pop up again in the future.
Yeah, well, road trip. Let's do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's make it. Yeah, that sounds good.
And actually, the sole reason I ended up at that Future Shock show is because I kept forgetting to book Drake Younger's transport up to be on the show, to be on the show, and I was handling his tour. And so I was meant to book his transport up and back, and I kept saying, I'll do it tomorrow, but the cost wasn't increasing, so I was like, no problem, tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Eventually went to go and do it, and it sold out. So I was like, right, okay, it's my own fault. I'm going to take the shoulder of the blame. I'm going to get in there on time. So I drove him up and drove it back. And I'm really glad I did, actually, because I really enjoyed the day.
It's funny how things work out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil, I didn't mean to cut you off then.
No, that's absolutely fine. And then we've got a big show next week, which we may have you back on to talk about. But if you wish to voice a couple of important points about next week's Tunbridge show.
Yes, indeed. The important points are that there's only 10 VIP tickets left. And I brought the cost of those down this time because fan feedback was that £40 was a tiny bit too much when you've got either a family or you've got kids or so on and so forth. So I brought the cost down to £30. Hopefully that'll be more affordable for everyone. So 10 of those left. That gets you front row, ringside, a free t-shirt and free entry into the VIP afternoon show as well. There's 10 of those left for May 25th. And yeah, the sort of feature matches are Zack Sabre Jr. against Kyle O'Reilly. It's Kyle O'Reilly's only singles match on the tour. And we've got Yuha Nation against Dave Mastiff.
He's gone again.
That's another, obviously, straight away, that sounds like another cracking show next week as well.
Yes, I think we'll cut him off there because I think we could have Mr. Edler on for quite some time. Bless him. I do love talking to Dan.
Again next week to talk more, so
yes, I'll let him know that we'll talk to him at another time. But I always enjoy talking to Dan, and yeah, so that's this weekend in Swanley. I think tickets are only like £12. But Daryl versus Haskins, I'm massively looking forward to.
I'm sure you'll be back on next week to tell us how good it was.
Probably. And Joseph Connors in singles, because I've not been able to see him in singles action yet.
Yeah, that's one man that I'll be talking about a bit when I get onto LCW, is Mr. Connors.
Absolutely.
I think we'll move on to that now, actually, because obviously both of you guys were at, I believe, possibly 2 shows apiece at the weekend?
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so we'll put it over. I believe Paul was going to start. Paul, I think you're starting with LCW Roses?
Yep, I made the trip down to Leicester for my first ever LCW Roses show, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, to be honest. It was a really good show. You had opening contest was Viper defeating Kaylee Ray. As you'd expect from these two, the match was very good. A little bit sloppy in parts. It was not what you'd expect from them, but Kaylee hit her usual big high-flying moves. Viper was a beast as always, and overall, they told a very good story, and it was a very, very even match. And when Viper, so if either girl would have got the win, no one would have complained. But Viper got the win, so that made me happy because I'm a big fan of Vipers. We then had a 4-way elimination match, which was Jenna, Kirsty Love, Felony, and Nadia Sapphire. First time seeing Felony wrestle. I've seen her valet for Barricade at House of Pain, but never seen her wrestle before. First time seeing Kirsty Love, first time seeing Nadia as well, and all 4 women were really impressive. Nadia got eliminated first, but when Kirsty got Felony to grab her as if she was going to stun her and then kicked the leg out from under her, so she did actually stun her and then pinned Nadia. And then Felony rolled up Kirsty for elimination quickly after that. And then it came down to Jenna and Felony, and Jenna hit a big leg drop off the top rope to pick up the win. This was a really good match. It was fought under Lucha rules, so it was nice, fast-paced. Lots of brawling on the outside as well, which was unexpected, but a nice, pleasant surprise. And overall, yeah, I'm impressed with all of them. Kirsty Love, obviously, I know wrestles quite a lot up at Rad Pro, doesn't she, Phil?
She does indeed, yes. She's a former intergender tag team champion. And I believe she's one of the current trainers at the... I can't remember the name of the academy, because the Rev Pro has got two training academies, and she's one of the trainers at the Durham Academy.
Well, I thought she was impressive. The first time seeing her, so I'm looking forward to trying to get back. They did announce the next LCW Roses show wasn't going to be until September. They're taking a bit of a break, but based on what I saw on Saturday, I'm more than up for going back down. We then had Faith Lahane, the other half of the Princesses, with Nadia Sapphire taking on Aisha Ray. Aisha dwarfed. There's a proper small girl versus power type matchup. In the end, though, Viper interfered and laid out Aisha Ray for Faith Lahane to pick up the win. That it didn't end there though. As Aisha was about to leave, Faith Lahane was running her mouth a bit, and Aisha returned to give her the choke bomb just for good measure before she left. So the fans still went into intermission happy. Coming out of intermission, it was supposed to be the Owens twins taking on Shauna Shea and Violet Vendetta. But obviously, as people may have seen from the news and seen from their own Twitters and Facebooks, Casey's hurt her foot and obviously unable to wrestle at the moment. So Leah comes out and says, it's 2-on-1, it's elimination anyway, I'm still going to take you both out. And she made quite short work of them. Well, especially Shauna. She absolutely obliterated Shauna's knee and locked on the figure 4, and Shauna tapped straight away for the first elimination. Violet and Leia then got a bit more even, and there was a bit more of a back and forth tussle between the two of them. But eventually, Leia locked in the figure 4 on Violet as well, and that was it. Violet tapped, so Leia Owens was your winner. Violet, though, as she was leaving, was swearing revenge. Not seen much of the Owens twins live, but I've either Casey or Leia, but really enjoyed Leia's work in this one. Good character, got a lot of heat from the crowd, and told a good story in the match. And you can definitely tell there's something there with Violet that once that starts to come out, she'll be able to have some really good matches coming up soon. Then we had Nikki Storm taking on Nixon. This was brilliant. I really enjoyed this. Nikki came out in a new ring gear. She was wearing a Nikki Storm t-shirt and some shorts with suspenders, and she said, "Look, I realise I've got anger management issues. I'm turning over a new leaf and everything else." And as the match, but then the fans would shout something at her, and she'd lose her rag and start to get in the fans' face, and then hold herself back, and then carry on as normal. It didn't last long. About 2 minutes into the match, someone from the crowd chanted, "Nikki, what about your new leaf?" And the response was, "Screw the new leaf." And her old ways returned rather quickly. And she did pick up the win with her twisting fisherman's neckbuster. Really good match, though. Nixon impressed me. I've never seen her wrestle live before. Obviously, huge fan of Nikki Storm's work, and she proved again why she is one of the best in the UK scene at the moment, and is getting booked in America and all over the place, and really making the most of it. Their main event time was Addie Starr taking on Rhea O'Reilly. This was no disqualification, and this went everywhere. Addie took a couple of shots from the giant whiskey bottle that Rhea O'Reilly carries with her. Addie had some Lego for the occasion, and that played into the finish of the match. The finish of the match was a Northern Lights suplex into the Lego, and then as Rhea sat up, Addie came flying in with a sliding D to pick up the win. Addie cut a really nice promo after the match, just saying how this was going to be a last time at LCW Roses because she's going back to Canada. So best luck going back to Canada. I really enjoyed the match with Rhea. I thought it was a really good way to end the show, and Addie Starr is genuinely the best female talent out there at the moment because she is willing to do different things that not many women would be crazy enough to put the bodies through, apart from Rhea O'Reilly. So this was a perfect matchup. And that concluded LCW Roses. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Keep an eye out on the Facebook for details of the show in September. And what matches are going to be coming up, and yeah, that's it from LCW for the afternoon anyway.
I think it's now over to you, Shaman.
Yeah, so while Paul was in lovely Leicester, I was in not so sunny Essex for RCWA, which is Will Ospreay and Ash Draven's promotion. Very, very young promotion, but managed to have over 250 people in the crowd ready to see it. It was at a new venue. It was at the Trafford School, which was the school that Will Ospreay and Ash Draven actually went to as children. And it was a big tribute to MOS, who is on the roster. His 2-year-old brother Eli, who passed away at the start of the year. So it's a big tribute thing for him. But for RCWA as a whole, the new lighting setup, the new staging is absolutely amazing, proper top notch, very, very professional indeed. So it was just very, very impressive from there, moving on as well. So Will and the Ospreay family have done very well with that. So to start, there was an 8-man tag match, which had MOS, Davan Vertigo, and Damien Black, who was the mystery partner, and another gentleman whose name escapes me, going up against the Bow Bells, the American superstar JQ, and Tom Bomb. Was it Tom Bomb? I can't remember. God, I'm awful today with my memory. It was last Saturday, so it was a long ago. Brian Killjoy, yes, it was. I'll get there eventually. Really a good opener, got everybody going. For me, it was inevitable that MOS was always going to score the pin based on the premise behind the show, which he did, and then put on a very passionate speech for the children about how to listen to their parents and how it's very important to live their lives, etc., which is very, very emotional after the match that we'd seen, but obviously to be very, very understandable considering what the event was about. I quite like Dan Van Vertigo, I have to be honest. He wrestles Barry Bodymore, who you may know as being one of the co-hosts of the show. He wrestles him quite a bit, and he's improved quite a lot, so I quite enjoy his wrestling. And Damien Black, he's massive. He's like Cyanide, but bigger and scarier. I think it's quite fair to say.
Scary then, because Cyanide's already pretty damn big and pretty damn scary.
He is indeed. He's very big and very scary indeed. But Damien Black can do some serious stuff for a big dude. So quite impressive on that score. Other highlights going in for me, we had the debut of Joel Masters, who I haven't seen down south for quite a while. I understand he's training up in Leicester now, with Robbie Brookside. I may be wrong. Excuse me, but he made his debut, hand selected by Weston, who had scoured far and wide across the country for the perfect specimen of man to take over RCWA, and he selected Joel Masters, who's looking pretty hench, not gonna lie. He made light work of Tom Bomb and just pretty much just squished him. So yeah, very impressive. He's improved a lot from the last time I saw him. The last time I saw him was his big street fight match with Yestin Rees at IPW, which was incredible. Yestin Rees was amazing. And John Masters put up a really good show on that as well, and he's improved from that as well. So when we start seeing him a lot more, and I saw him the next day at FBW, it does show that wherever he's training now, he's making massive, massive improvements. So I'm looking forward to see what comes out from him. After that, we then had Chuck Cyrus, as always, with his ridiculously over-the-top and hilarious entrance. He now wears a pink tracksuit now. He wears a pink tracksuit, likes to gyrate on ladies, and is allegedly so big he needs help from the referee to get into the ring because his traps are too big and he can't get under. So that was quite funny. To which the ring announcer Lauren did say that as it was an open challenge, they couldn't possibly find somebody man enough for him. Instead, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, came out, which I I didn't know. I was massively surprised. I love her. Ollie, we have done an interview with Ollie in the past with Dave, and it's on the archive of BritWres blog, and it's fascinating stuff. And see her first time in the ring was incredible. Entrance, mannerisms, character, the works, outstanding. Really, really outstanding. I was so impressed. To the point where I was just starting, you know, when you see somebody for the first time, you get really excited, and then you kind of start thinking of what matches they can have if they were elsewhere. Do you find yourself doing that?
Fancy booking going in your head straight away.
Yeah. Fantasy booking in my head straight away. So I was thinking like Priscilla versus Earl Windsor with his mannerisms, or you know, somebody like that, or Tom Chamberlain, or just it was just so good. Thoroughly recommend you go see that. Priscilla did win with a delicate pin. It was a ladylike pin, shall we say, after Mr. Cyrus missed getting protein into Priscilla's eyes and got a big smooch from her, which I'm sure he enjoyed, even though he denied it profusely. After that, we then had a new championship, which was the Elite One Championship, and it had Sean Wilson go up against Will Ospreay, and it was a knockout or submission match, which, as you can imagine from Mr. Ospreay, threw absolutely everything at it. Sean Wilson isn't really seen elsewhere, I don't think, but he's got a bit of a... He was the TV champion, so he calls himself an internet star, so he wears the aviators and goes around talking about how amazing he is when, you know, he kind of isn't. But they threw everything at each other for that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And Will Ospreay did win after a 450 splash, followed by an armbar. Zack Sabre will come for you if he sees that, to become the Elite One champion. So that was that. And then there was an interval, which I've said before about RCWA, it has the best tuck shop the world has ever seen. And it also now has a barbecue in the back as well. So you now have barbecues and brings burgers and such like. It's crazy. So after the interval, we had another debut. We had Mexican Eagle take on Disco Diablo. Mexican Eagle, oh bless him. I had to start the pigeon chant straight away and ended up having nearly everyone call him a pigeon, which upset him. He got his feathers in a twist. But another really, really enjoyable match with these two. Disco Diablo did win. It was hilarious. Mexican Eagle is quite possibly one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, and I love seeing him watch. And I'll talk about what he did at FPW later as well, because that was ridiculous. And then we had we had a tag team, debuting tag team, where we had the Lavelles, who are Lucha Britannia, and are very posh and come out with croquet bats and have fantastic mannerisms about how disgusting people are, going up against Born to Fly, which is TJ Sky and Kieran Woods. TJ Sky, I've not seen wrestle before. I last saw him as referee for Attack. But the clues in the name. They're very, very high fly. Really, really fun, this debut. For both parties, they worked very, very well with each other, and eventually Lavelles won with a double pin. But afterwards, they showed even more mean streaks by attacking people with a croquet bat. But another really, really good set of debuts. And after that, we had the RCWA live champion with Paul Robinson versus the Revolution, Ash Draven. Ash Draven is massively hated, and it's a great character to see them have, and Paul Robinson is loved everywhere. Another really, really good match between these two, back and forth all the way, to the point where I didn't think Paul Robinson was going to win, but eventually he did hit the shooting star press and then became the new RCWA champion. So, yeah, and that was a really, really good end. So, all in all, for me, it was a step up for them because of the new venue, because of the new lighting rig, and because of the new talent that have now started. I see big things for RCWA. I think if they can keep it going, it's going to start being a nifty little promotion for everybody. 50-odd
people in seats, that's what you need, and that's 250 word of mouth.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it is catered predominantly. I mean, the majority of the crowd is children, and it is families, and they cater for them amazingly well. They they have picnic tables if people have birthdays, and they can put up balloons and bring their own cake and their own picnic food and stuff like that. So you can have a birthday party at the show, and it's a few things that kind of been taken forward from FPW are also massively family orientated and own little things to keep it engaging for everybody, and I think they do a really good job with that. So keep an eye on them. I think we might be seeing some more things. And their next show is July the 12th, I believe. So, lots of fun.
It's just I was massively impressed by Will at speaking because I've never seen him wrestle before. Obviously, I heard good things from yourself, but
was he against
Daryl? He was against Mark Andrews.
Oh, beautiful!
And it was absolutely ridiculous. And then he was in a four-way with Devitt, T-Bone, Will, and Robbie, I think it was. And again, impressed the hell out of me both times. Absolutely, him and Mark Andrews is absolutely mental. That match is worth the speaking DVD alone when it comes out.
Every time I see Will, I always see something different. Like, he always seems to pick something up from the match he's been in before, to kind of make him more of a rounded performer, I think. But I will never ever tire of seeing Will Ospreay versus Darryl Allen. Never. It's just brilliant Will stuff that they come out with, and it's different every time. I think I've seen them in the ring together like half a dozen times at least, and it never ceases to amaze me.
Which is always a sign of a good performer.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that was RCWA, and that was a lot of fun. I do enjoy them.
Again, sorry about that. They're only, Will is only, what, 19 or something now?
Yeah, 1920. I don't know the exact age. But it's a game. We always talk about the amazing youngsters.
Yeah, and there is some phenomenal. The next generation of British wrestling. Your guys who are in your early like teens, like obviously the Tyler Bates and Dan Baloney's, through to you guys like in your early 20s. It's phenomenal. Only problem is with some of these guys who are a bit flippy. In 10 years' time, what are the knees going to be like? The back's going to be like.
If Tyler Bates anything to go by, it'll still be hench by then.
Definitely. Because obviously, we'll mention the Southside results in a minute for X Factor because no one was at the show, but we've got some results. But the
Rev Pro Birmingham show as well, we've got the results for. If Phil wants to kind of have a look at them, they are on our Facebook.
I'll do it in a minute.
There's people on that Southside show in particular. Speaking of the young talent, obviously Tyler and Dan both got to go up against the Hunters, and we see they're seeing that match at Fight Club Pro, but for them to get to put that match on that stage of Southside with a lot of attention on them says a lot. And the fact that I've not seen any negative reports coming out of that show.
He got standing ovation.
So that to me says that all those guys are doing something right.
Absolutely. I'd really like to see Tyler Bate in natural progression for progress in the next couple of years. I don't think it's very far away. This weekend, I think they've got Pete Dunne versus Robbie X. They have this weekend as part of their natural progression series, and whoever wins will be joining Flash Morgan Webster and Zach Gibson. Going forward, so if I don't see Tyler in natural progression, I would be ever so slightly disappointed. Same goes with Dean Maloney as well. I think up north seems to be where the younger talent are coming through, and Josh Bodeham's coming through down here a lot, but he's already been in it, and he's making massive waves for Rev Pro at the moment, as he faced Devitt at the weekend.
Yeah, and came out as champ as well.
He did, and then due to Marty being injured, he did come out victorious against Devitt, but that was because the Revolutionists, which are the name of the cartel plus Marty Skull, came out and attacked Devitt, and then after Marty's injured, so the Revolutionists were due to go up against Team Defend, and Josh Bodeham joined the Revolutionists to take his place as well. So it just shows how much Quilden's putting into Josh Bodeham at the moment. And it's proving proving that it's working. I saw his last couple of matches, and he's putting on some stellar matches at the minute.
Yeah, I want to say one thing as well before we move into the LCW review and everything. I've got to say, most dedicated to this weekend or just gone definitely has to go down to not only the Hunter brothers because they worked Rev Pro and then jumped in the car and went straight to Leicester, ready to defend the tag belts at Leicester. But Chris Travis worked Full House, Rev Pro, and LCW in one day. That's insane.
That's crackers.
That's a lot of time spent in ring gear. I feel sorry for whoever has to watch that after that weekend.
But at least he stayed cool in the car.
That's it. That's a small blessing.
Yeah, it was the Ego versus the Bangerers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ego against Bangers, and then it was Ego versus Hunters at Rev Pro, and then he was in the four-way number one contenders match at LCW.
Wow.
So not exactly like no taking it easy matches either.
Blimey. So Phil, should we go back to you and you can go through some Birmingham Rev Pro results from Saturday?
I can do. I was going to actually give it over to Paul so he can go through LCW and then
whatever's best for you.
I'll go into them after.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so obviously same venue, Brockington College. There was an evening show, and it was LCW's third anniversary, I believe. The Rob Maltman announced it as, and it was a really good way to celebrate their anniversary.
Paul.
Yes.
Who did Rob Maltman imitate whilst walking down the ring?
I didn't notice. I'll be 100% honest.
Oh, he said he was going to imitate some wrestler whilst doing an entrance. If you didn't notice, then obviously it wasn't good enough. Maltman, you failed.
I've got to say, I thought Maltman did do a good job on the ring announcing, as always. They did like you mentioned with RCWA, they had some children's birthdays there, and he got them in the ring and gave them a little goodie bag. And because it was in a college, they had the full canteen area available, so the family set up a cake and got some chips from the canteen and put them all on the table. But the kids seemed to have a brilliant time. So and the amount of people who went up to the LCW management and thanked them for helping them do that was really nice to see. So they had Q2, Ryan Smile and Damian Dunn defeating the Predators in the opening match. Obviously, the Predators are currently fighting everywhere, it seems, but LCW is slightly different when it comes to the story of the Predators, because Paul Malin was basically saying that the Predators are never going to break up, we're a strong unit. Joseph Connors did not look impressed, didn't want to cheat, and that's where the end came. Malin went to grab the ropes to stop being rolled up and on a sunset flip, and Connors pulled the rope away so he couldn't. He got rolled up, kicked out, but when he was arguing with Connors, he got schoolboyed by Ryan, and Q2 picked up the win. Predators then came to blows after the match, and chaos ensued, and it's not over by a long shot between those guys. So anyone who's at the next LCW show, which I believe is end of June, look for that to progress further. Then Jürgen Heimlich defeated LJ Heron in a very good match. Two House of Pain trainees in this one. First time seeing Jürgen Heimlich wrestle, and he was very good. LJ Heron has been knocking around for quite a while and is a very good worker in his own right. Jürgen Heimlich, obviously, though, the dastardly German used underhanded tactics to pick up the win. When LJ was upset because the referee didn't see the cheating, the crowd started chanting, "Spear the ref." But before LJ could, Jürgen came back out and started attacking LJ's leg. Obviously, before the match as well, Maltman had announced that LJ Heron was the only person who'd been on every single LCW show ever. So, for him to be beaten up as badly as he was, is Jürgen Heimlich definitely making a statement. Then had Styx come out, cut a promo talking about how. Before Jürgen Heimlich came out, Styx cut a promo saying how he's He's done some dastardly things in LCW. He's not proud of a lot of them after getting engaged and having a child, and he's reevaluating his life. This brings out Max Angelus, who runs him down and says that I learned from your dastardly deeds, and you brought stuff out of me. People really don't believe this. Barricade was there as backup to Max Angelus as well. A new look for Max Angelus that I've never seen before as well. He's switching his character up quite a lot from the guy who held the Southside Championship not too long ago. And obviously, this was all hype leading up to Barricade versus Styx later, but Styx did take a chair shot to the back, which may have put him on the wrong foot going into the match. But Barricade did pin Styx in a cracking match. These guys battered each other everywhere. Max Angelus was at ringside, but he wasn't as much of a presence as I thought he was going to be. He still helped Barricade out here and there, but he wasn't constantly interfering, which was good. And Styx looked really good as always. Barricade did pick up the win, but Styx, he's not done with LCW yet, and he's definitely not done with Barricade and Max Angelus. First for intermission, we had the LCW Tag Team Championships of the Hunter Brothers defending against the Cooper Nation of Xander Cooper and TK Hayward. Again, never seen TK Hayward before, so that was nice surprise. I really enjoyed his work. The Hunters hit. I don't know if they've got a name for it, but it was their top rope Rana into the big splash combo. But before the pinfall could go down on Xander Cooper, TK came in and attacked the Hunters with a chair, leading to the DQ, and then they also picked up the tag belts and started beating the Hunters with the tag belts before they left. So, again, not done by a long shot between Hunter Brothers and Cooper Nation, but how over they were as heels was brilliant to see. They were genuinely despised. Because, again, it was a crowd of mostly children, so just Xander Cooper and TK Hayward just kept winding them up and twisting that knife a little bit more every time. And as a casual observer, I couldn't help but chuckle. Then match of the night, hands down, had to go to the four-way number one contendership, four-way match for the number one contendership, and it was Chris Travis pinning El Ligero in the end. The match also had Robbie X and Sam Wilder in there. All four guys worked really hard, lots of brawling on the outside, lots of really cool spots from all men. But the end was the Travis pushed Ligero into the ropes, hit the German suplex, and then hit the Tiger Bomb to pick up the win. And he's going to get a shot at Alex Gracie probably in June. Then the main event, LCW Championship, Alex Gracie defended and defeated Max Angelus to retain the championship. I'll be honest, this match, as much as I enjoyed a lot of the action, it felt very long, and it was like I legitimately thought at one point it was just a no contest and the match was over, and then the referee reappeared and it carried on for another 5 minutes, and it seemed to, you could tell what they were going for. They were going for this big underdog comeback story from Alex Gracie to celebrate the 3rd anniversary, and it worked because in a respect, because he had his arm hit with a steel chair. Then Max Angelus kept trying to work over the arm, and he wouldn't give up, and he kept fighting, hit the snapware driver eventually to pick up the win. You could have done all that in a faster paced match. There was a lot of rest holds, a lot of barricade interference on the outside before he eventually got ejected to the back, but then he was only in the back for a couple of minutes, then he was out again to interfere when the referee was taken out. It just felt overly complex, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the match as it was, but shave a few minutes off here and there, I think it would have just put it a little bit more over the top for me. But that might be me being nitpicky because it was the end of a long day of wrestling, and it was a good way to end the day. And I would definitely go back to LCW. I don't know if I can make the show in June, but in September when there's Roses and LCW in the same day, I'm very, very tempted to go back down and check them out and see how things have progressed.